I think it's time for some some additional dark greens. I know, especially right here. And that spot there, definitely want some. Found a size brush that I've been looking for. Yeah, I'm going to start with this shape here. I may just put some darker green down here. In fact, I probably will with some ultramarine blue, sort of like up in that corner. And yes, I've been playing with I've been cleaning phthalo blue. I don't have some, yeah. Anyways, it's a good thing. Get that out of the way. So I do want to, for this green, I do want to make sure that there's at least some yellow in there somewhere. And then, you know, I've been changing out my phthalo blue, so it's one of the reasons it's all over my fingers. But you can definitely make a green from yellow and phthalo blue. It's just that you can make them a lot quicker if you use the phthalo green. Phthalo blue is so strong it's hard to find mixes sometime, a small enough amount to mix in if you're really wanting something green. But it can make some really nice mixes just with yellow. That's the idea for that. Maybe I'll put just a touch more of the phthalo blue up there. I'm going to end up scrubbing out. I'll show you that later. That's a fun thing. But just using a scrub brush to sort of paint negatively, reductively, I should say. So that's that one. Let me see. I think I'm going to get that smaller brush that I mentioned. This is silver brush number 4. Looks like that. And I'm going to come in, just mixing some yellows and blues and greens. I just want sort of a dark bluish green. Sort of dark. I'm going to paint the top part of this leaf in a little bit darker green. That was quite a bit darker green, wasn't it? But that's kind of what I was after, so nobody to blame but myself. Yeah, you're still in good frame. I just grabbed a little bit more yellow in my brush for a little bit more variety of greens. That's starting to get there. I think I'm going to leave it like that because I think the next round I'm going to do a little bit of modeling. You'll see that. Let me see. But this one here, this could this would be nice with starting with a little bit of yellowish green here. So I'm starting with that, and then I'm going to start mixing in a little bit of stronger green, and then even a little bit stronger green. Yeah, this is a nice brush for this. There's plenty of paint in that, and in fact a little too much. So got rid of some of it and just going to kind of work with what I have here. I'm bringing some of that darker green up there. If I didn't mention, I turned my paper around quite a bit. I think I mentioned that. But that's okay for this shape. But I think as it gets really towards the middle, I'm going to drop in a little bit more of the phthalo blue, which will take it to a really nice dark, cool green. I may have gone over. If I do something with that right now, I'm just going to leave it like that. I think I'll be able to work around that. And by that I mean just it's going into the petal more than I was hoping. I must have spazzed on my brush stroke. So I'm going to do a similar thing with these other kind of green areas. This one I'll make a little bit more yellowish. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, I did it again. I'm not sure if I'm doing that or maybe the paper is, yes, the paper's fault, is not quite fresh enough to be holding these edges. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. I think I am going to, this is such a different color than this, that if I leave it like that, it's going to be a little bit too jarring. So I'm going to tame this down with a little bit of the darker bluish green. Haven't really been paying good attention to the petal shape. And I don't know if and when I frame and crop this, I'm not sure how far it'll go, but it's good to kind of make sure you give yourself more area. Like right here, I may try to fill that up just so I have more choices as far as cropping. Like I said, if and when I do. I want a tiny bit more phthalo blue right there. And I'm going to drop in a little bit right there too. And once again, these are all just a variety of greens. It doesn't have to be exact, but the important thing is that we're building up variety of greens, and the values of them are the most important thing for me. And I want everything next to these really white petals to be dark. For more contrast. I think that's you and you. Here, what I'm going to do, I think eventually I'm going to do that sort of blue-green, but I have all this lovely red and quin pink and burnt orange. Some nice reddish hues. So I'm going to use these for some of my reds. That seems dark, I know, and it might be too dark. But it's tricky. Once again, I hope that was in frame. It's tricky painting objects that are in shadow, or where there's less light, and it's a cooler, bluer color, overall color, and just sort of a cooler temperature is what it's referred to as, but there's just more blue in it, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it. But I confess that I'm not sure if I made that too blue, and by extension I had you do it too blue, but I'm going to try something right here for this one. I'm going to try just painting some straight azo yellow. And because it's transparent watercolor and it won't dry the color that it looks right now. At least I don't think it will. But I wanted to get some yellow in there just to make sure I warm that up, yellow that up a bit. And then this other one, I'm going to look for that number 4 brush, 4 silver brush. Really, I'm gotta clean these fingers. Good God, Farron. And I am just gonna kind of paint it mostly just one value, and to create sort of an impression of a bunch of spherical kind of seed forms. I'm gonna use scrubbing as well for that, scrubbing out, lifting out. But that's what I'm going to do for that. Am I going to do this? I'm going to see what happens if I drop in a little bit of a Hansa Yellow Deep. Eventually that will probably turn into more brown than orangey red. But in fact, it sort of is right now, but that's okay. See, I did you, and you, and you. I think, can I sort of darken you up there? This is pretty dry right here, so it might be a fun example of trying to create some backgrounds. It's not doing it so much. Mostly because it's already pretty dark. Oop, boink. Sorry. Last thing I'm going to do for this is I am going to try to get a little bit of, just have this, have the impression of possibly just going further out in the composition. So I've painted pretty clear lines, edges. So I may be able to kind of scrub, eventually after a few layers, scrub it away, and it might look, nobody might know. Oh, I was going to do that one, that little shape there, greener as well. But now I'm not going to do that because I'm doing this, and that would be right next to it. I'm doing some of that Quin pink and cobalt teal. Cobalt teal is kind of it's a little more opaque than a lot of other colors, so it will likely help with covering, just making it less obvious of that there was an edge there that I'm painting over and trying to change. Heck. I know eventually that this is casting a shadow on this shape. If I didn't already say it, this is that cobalt teal and pink, Quin pink mixture. So clearly there's still an edge there. Let's see what happens later on in the process. I just can't stand it. I'm gonna do this shape, but I'm gonna try to be very careful about not touching the shape I just painted, so that this green doesn't flow into that one. Although, you know, a lot of people are brave and paint that way by choice. Maybe I'm going to. I want to be able to save that sort of stripe. But I'll be able to do that somehow. So yeah, it's just kind of fun getting all the colors mingling together. And then coming back and adjusting them. Okay, that's plenty for that one. Woohoo!